This program is produced by the volunteers of Tellico Village Broadcasting.
Hi, I'm Annette Schmidt, the Vice President of Communications and Marketing for the Homeowners Association of Tellico Village. And I'm here today with another edition of Highlights and Happenings. And joining me today is Dennis Stanczuk. And Dennis is the past chairman of the HOA TDOT Liaison Committee. And Dennis is going to share with us a little bit about that committee and the newly organized Highway Committee. So thanks for being here, Dennis.
Thank you for having me.
And give us a little bit of information, how and why TDOT was formed.
Well, several years ago, it became apparent that the Highway 444, the Tellico Parkway, was beginning to deteriorate. We were seeing cracks in the pavement, potholes, the shoulders were crumbling, and this was a really poor reflection on the village, especially for visitors and those who are considering moving to the village. So the HOA and the POA decided to form a joint committee to reach out to the Tennessee Department of Transportation to explore options for improving the highway.
So what exactly did the TDOT committee do?
Well, once we contacted TDOT, they agreed to work with us and asked us to develop some proposals. The committee spent a lot of time driving up and down the highway looking at the intersections, considering the demographics of the various neighborhoods to identify the volume of traffic so that we could make recommendations such as adding turn lanes or improving signage or eliminating hazardous passing zones.
And what exactly were some of the accomplishments? You had quite a list of to-dos. What was accomplished?
Yes. Well, a good summary of the accomplishments would be for residents to go to the HOA website to look at the final report that was written by the committee. And it summarized the work that the committee did and especially emphasized the work that was done because of the committee involvement.
And could you tell us a little bit about a letter of commendation that was sent by the TDOT committee?
Yes. Our committee was very pleased with the cooperative working relationship that we had with the senior staff of the eastern region of TDOT. And we sent a letter that was signed by Ellen Fox, the president of the HOA, and Bruce Johnson, president of the POA. That letter was sent to the commissioner of TDOT. Several weeks later, we received a letter back from the commissioner thanking the committee for the work that we did and the insights and cooperative spirit that the committee worked. And we'd like to post that on the HOA website so people can take a look at those.
Excellent. That was then. This is now.
Yes.
So let's move on to discuss the TDOT committee is now being replaced by the Highway Committee. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
That's correct. The Highway Committee is going to have a bit of a broader scope, and instead of just working solely with the Tennessee Department of Transportation, the new committee will be working with Loudoun County, Monroe County, the City of Honor, Tennessee Valley Authority, utilities, and of course TDOT to continue with some of the projects that the Liaison Committee had started.
And then what are some of the projects that they actually have planned then for 2019, assuming that the new committee wants to continue with that?
Right. The new committee will have to evaluate these work items to decide whether they're going to move forward with them. But some of the work that was initiated by the Liaison Committee was to add a merge lane at the north end of Highway 444 where 321 intersects with that exit ramp with traffic coming from Lenore City. That shoulder is fairly wide, and if it was remarked to allow cars to move into that lane, then it would enable motorists to be able to look in their mirror rather than over their shoulder for traffic coming from Maryville. We'd also like to see a street light installed at that intersection because it is a bit of a complex intersection, and if we could illuminate that at night, I think it would make it easier for traffic to navigate through that area. Some of the other work that the Liaison Committee initiated was to request TDOT to do a intersection study at the intersection of Niles Ferry and Highway 411. TDOT looked at that intersection, studied the traffic patterns and traffic count, and recommended that several turn lanes be added, right turn lanes going onto 411 and off of 411. They felt, however, that at this time it wasn't warranted to have a traffic control light.
And I think there was another project then, Sunrise Point. I've heard that term before.
Yes. This area is the gravel pad that is at the north end of Highway 444 near the silos. The area was most recently used to store the guardrails that TDOT was installing along the parkway. The idea is if we could go into that and get permission from the Tennessee Valley Authority to take down a few trees, cut down the lower limbs of some of the larger trees so that we could get a view of the lake underneath the tree canopy, I think that would be a very nice area to stop and take a look at the lake for visitors and even residents. So we'll see if that's something that the committee would add to their work items.
Great opportunities. And tell us a little bit about the membership of the committee. And I also understand we want to use this as an opportunity to recruit
Yes.
for either some new members and a chair.
That's correct.
Committee.
We think that there will be a couple of members of the previous committee will continue on to the Highway Committee to add some continuity and institutional knowledge. But Annette, you're right. We are looking for a chairman of this committee. This person would have to have some management, project management skills, communication skills, and a bit of a technical background, although being a highway engineer is not necessary for that position. So if anybody is interested in discussing this, please contact one of the HOA board members, and you can do that through the HOA website.
Absolutely. And Dennis, this has been extremely interesting and informative, and we appreciate you coming on to share that information. And as Dennis said, you can get the total information about this on HOATV.org. That's our website. You'll find not only the letters that he's talked about, but also the report that's been filed of what happened in 2018. And also there are some slides that were presented at one of our general meetings last year in 2018 that give great information on what's happening with our highways as it relates to TDOT. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
It was a pleasure. I also want to thank the incredible staff and crew of Tellico Village Broadcasting. This is truly, this broadcasting studio is truly a gem in the crown of our Tellico Village. And I just want to also say that you can visit their website if you're interested in learning more information about TVB and find out how to get involved with them. But also check our website, as I mentioned, HOATV.org, and also Tellico Village for a complete listing of our activities and events that are coming up. Thank you for being with us today. And Dennis, until the next time, let's go out and enjoy the village.
Thank you.